The
Delightfully devilish.
podcast.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing on this fine day slash night, depending on where you are at in the world? My
How's it
name is
going? Hope you
Matt.
guys are having a good one. And I'm
Yeah,
Joe,
I am the bird person,
and I'm the wooden boy.
and this is the Delightfully Devilish podcast. So, not to belabor the point here, you've probably seen the title. You probably get what's about to happen. Uh, what do you think about AI?
We're just going right into it. All right.
Yeah.
Uh, I am a fan of AI. I will admit.
Okay.
Whether that be good or bad, I think it is a beneficial, like, net good for the world.
Go
I
on.
know you have some thoughts,
Mhm.
and I'm very curious as it. So, granted, for those of you who don't know, Matt Birdperson is a trained artist, and I am not.
Yeah, I am somebody who knows their way around like pardon, like Photoshop, and I can pretty skilled at being able to manipulate images manually when I need to.
But you also know
Without, yeah,
don't undersell it. You know pen and paper. You know the whole
it's gonna
blender.
say,
You
well,
know
yeah,
you.
outside of, I would say my arguments about AIs go more into the whole uh, image generation, like image
Okay.
manipulation sort of thing, more of like the realistic stuff. Though, uh, you did. Uh, so, give me a sec.
That's fine.
So, your position is that you like AI a lot.
Correct.
Can I talk you out of out of that position?
I mean, I am not opposed, but I sincerely doubt it.
Okay, so
I mean, if you do, I'll be mighty surprised, and I'll give you kudos.
so I guess so I don't know. I guess I went into this previously more confident than I'm feeling now, but I mean, I still feel like I have pretty good arguments. So for
Okay.
one thing, it's and I guess AI has advanced a little bit further past this now, but take a
Is
look
it
at
the
this.
spaghetti? Oh, fingers.
What the
Yeah,
hell are
no.
those?
AI and fingers. Do you remember the celebrities eating spaghetti?
I think it's because there's that, and then somebody once people figured out that AI could do commercials. Uh,
Hmm.
there was the whole they did like a terrifying commercial where like at one point it looked like the idea of somebody was supposed to be picking up like a can of soda and drinking it. Instead, it could just kind of look like it absorbed into his body.
I've not seen that.
Yeah.
Well,
Um, then there's
this might
yeah.
this might date the episode, but have you heard about Will Smith's concert being AI generated?
I have heard about that.
I've not come to a proper conclusion just because like some images look like leading and obviously, you know, what they say about don't believe everything and all that stuff and some people just want to get the clicks and all that stuff. But at the very same time, kind of up in the air on that one. Some images look very convincing that is AI generated, which granted, to be fair, Will Smith was significantly more relevant years ago.
Yeah, he's probably trying to get back into relevance, and I don't know if anybody's told him. I don't know. I don't think that's the way for him to do it.
I mean, I think well, we grew up in the golden age of Will Smith.
That's true.
If anything, our cup runneth over between Fresh Prince of Bel Air, Summertime releasing, as well as like his. I mean, his movie careers. I mean, Men in Black, fantastic, the original.
Yeah.
Um, MIB 2, I haven't seen that in years, but I remember liking it. Uh, I think 3 was also good. Well, those are movies I haven't seen in years. But also, there's a couple that didn't really stand out that well. Where I loved iRobot as a kid, and then I
Hmm.
watched it later on, and I'm kind of like, not for
What was
obviously not
wrong?
for
What's wrong
graphics.
with me? Yeah.
Well, no, like it wasn't even a graphics thing. Like there's just a couple scenes in particular where I'm like, oh, scenes that I liked as a kid, I clearly did not as an adult. I mean, granted, it's still a pretty good movie. Like it still tells a like proper story and etc. But like, it just wasn't executed as well as I remembered,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate. And don't even get me started on I Legend or I Am Legend.
Mm.
That's a whole can of worms.
Yeah. I remember as a kid being really excited about the Wild Wild West movie that Will Smith was in.
Oh
Just
my
because
god.
I never actually saw it, by the way. The
You,
reason why I was
oh, you
excited
need
about
to.
this. Oh, yeah?
Is was
That
it the
good?
song? Did the
Yeah.
song get you?
No, it was. I don't remember if it was Burger King or Taco Bell. They had kids' meal toys about it
Oh,
when I was a kid, and that's what got me excited about it.
that movie. So, spoiler alert. Actually, I wouldn't say spoiler alert because I might be misremembering it. But there's somebody who has like half a body, but like his like lower torso or his legs would be or like is like a spider or
Oh,
something like that. As a kid, those like the graphics at the time were pretty decent, and it
yeah.
bothered me. I didn't like it. And then as an adult, I watched it, and I was like,
You appreciate the
oh,
technical genius behind it. I get it.
yeah, we'll go with that. Um, but I remember liking it because but the big spider at the like the big mechanical spider thing at the end was kind of just, I'm good.
Fair.
Oh my, so hold on, based on, so do you want to know? It has a 4.9 on IMDb. Came out in 1999,
Yep.
and yeah.
That sure was a movie that came out in 1999.
That was a movie of 1990. So was what's it Lost in Space. That was also a movie that came out in 1999.
I remember that movie title is familiar, though I couldn't tell you what it's about.
Brother, if you just I don't granted I understand that Rotten Tomatoes is kind of like here nor there, but if just what do you think their tomato meter was or is?
For what?
Wild Wild West.
Hmm.
Like just pick any number, percentage. What is the
Oh
tomato
yeah, I'm
rating?
familiar with how the tomato meter works. I'm gonna guess. Let me be realistic, I guess, for a moment. I'm guessing somewhere between like 15 and like 30%.
Holy crap, you 16%.
Oh yeah,
That yeah,
not bad, not
16%
bad.
16% tomato and 28% popcorn meter.
Eh, there
Yeah.
are movies that do worse. There are movies that come out today that do worse.
Oh, brother, there's been a series of movies that come out in like the last like 5 years that's been
Oh, interesting. Well, good
unideal.
job, Wild Wild West. You're holding
You're a
on by
movie.
the skin of your teeth. You are a movie that came out in 1999. That's for sure.
And you're in our AI conversation because you guys are that movie. You guys are
Yeah.
that movie that you're in.
Maybe it was maybe somebody went back in time with like an AI generated script, and that's what happened. Guys, I
That's
totally wrote this.
so let's circle back to the AI of it all.
Yeah, let's get back
So
to it. Look at this.
so okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you get a moment, and I don't know if you've ever done this, Joe, I would recommend you go on YouTube and watch AI generated bike crash videos.
Okay, one that sounds amazing, but that also looks
Oh,
like some
it's spectacular in how hilarious they are.
but do you
But
know what that looks like though?
what's that?
That looks like some sort of Dr. Seussical kind of like he'll make or what's it? It would be like the oh that's like the schlumbaloompalakilla
Yeah,
bicycle. You know what I mean? It's like some made up nonsense where it's
yeah.
like ah the schlumbaloompaloompalum.
It's complete with like a whole like a bodiless shoe and out and everything. Look at that.
Ah The iconic shoe.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Like
I
there are
can see where
definitely
you're.
things going on here. Uh, I would say I choose to not believe that this sort of image is like in a vacuum on its own. You know what I'm saying? Like AI,
No,
it just cannot replicate the human touch when it comes to creating images. It simply cannot.
well, at this point in time in the year of our Lord 2025, I will agree that it is missing a certain aspect, which we'll get to a very philosophical topic that we're getting about to get into.
Oh, absolutely.
So, the pretense of this is if we're talking about AI and art,
Hmm.
what dictates art?
Uh, well, for one, look at this.
Unfortunately, I can't tell if that's AI or not.
It's AI.
Okay, because who's that? Oh my God, I know this was like maybe like what, like 2013 or something. But
Hmm.
remember that ass that like tried to fix, and I'm using air quotes, fix the Mona Lisa, or like
That sounds familiar, actually. Yeah.
yeah, but like remember that ass that looks exactly like that, where it's like oh like I fixed the masterpiece, and it looks like
Yeah.
comically
So,
terrible.
yeah. I mean, and like actually, this particular piece does speak to a certain trend that's going on in sort of the more active anti AI communities. But I'll into that later. We'll get into this philosophical argument. Why not? So you
Yeah.
asked what makes art. I believe, as an artiste, such as I am, I do hold a bachelor's in fine arts, by the way, for those who don't know. Uh, Art is something that, ideally, I suppose, is something that's driven by human emotion, human
Okay.
passion, something that's guided by the human hand. And I think you're sort of picking up on what I'm putting down here a little bit,
I am.
trying to be a little bit subtle about about what I'm putting
Emphasis on
down.
human hand. Yes.
Human. It has to come from a human because art is something that needs you should be able to connect what you're making with other humans. Humans can relate to the experiences of other humans. Humans can relate to the emotions that other humans are putting out.
Mhm.
Humans cannot relate to, and I'm going to bring this back up. I'm going to bring this one back up. Where are you? There you are. You son of a bitch.
Dilbert, that's like $10 off your pay.
Yeah. How dare you? Yeah. Tell me what part of this image that humans can relate to from an
So if you don't,
artistic point of view.
well, I as a man of science, I will tell you what I think. If you don't like ankle injuries or any sort of like lower limb injuries, you can relate to
Yeah,
it on that kind of note.
sure.
As for art, I don't.
There's nothing
I
there that you can connect to on an artistic point of view, is there?
uh, unless you're very cynical.
Unless you like veins. Like, look how veiny these legs are. I'm just gonna take a moment to appreciate how veiny
Well,
generator made these legs for some reason.
I mean, if
Look
anything,
at
that's just
those.
that's all. Well, all right. Well, judge all you will, but from a biological point of view, that's very impressive and very lean body fat. And hey, they probably have very elastic veins, and which is very good.
Yeah, but
So
then my next question is like
that knee,
how many people are there? Because like
no, I thought you were
look
gonna
at
point out
this. Like
the kneecap
what
that's
knee? I
not
mean,
jointed.
yeah,
No,
I don't even
that's
know
a
if
knee.
this is a kneecap. This looks like a weasel sticking their tongue out here on the this one over here. Look at this.
So
Look at that.
okay, yeah, no, that looks That looks like a
There's
knee
nothing
that
here that
has.
a human can connect to. Like, if I'm looking for like a photo that like tells the story of athletic prowess and like human achievement, this is not the photo I'm going to be turning to. I
Well,
use
I'd hope
photo
not.
very liberally here, by the way.
Yeah, but at the very same time, like that going back to that picture, like there's the one that sticks out to me the most is the one in the most foreground middle of it, where like you can clearly tell that like the tibula and fibula are like so. Uh, Obviously, I'm pointing at my screen like an idiot, and you can't see that. But the leg that looks detached off from the foot to the knee, that's just floating there.
Yeah.
So essentially, that floating shin, the fact that the tibula and fibula are just floating there, and it looks like the top of the knee, the patella is just well there
Mm-hmm.
is kind of. I don't know. That was the first thing I noticed. Where I'm like, oh, either that's a very grisly accident, or that's just not right. That boy ain't
Yeah.
right.
But like, let's see. If I'm gonna, but if we're talking about like art and like what makes art, especially
Mhm.
if we're referring like, and we can refer to photographs, I guess, for this particular example. I think it's apt enough. I'm just pulling up an image real quick. Save image as.
Before you pull this image up, question
Yeah,
for you: Have you
answer for
seen
you.
Naruto? Have you seen Naruto?
Yeah, I'm familiar with Naruto.
Have you seen Naruto Shippuden?
I haven't actually watched it that closely. I didn't even watch the original that
Oh,
closely.
all right. Well, one, I'm disappointed in you. Secondly,
It's one of
there
those
was a
anime that like I have to go back like several years of content, and like it'll take a long time to catch up, and I just don't want to do that.
granted, I admit it. Well, one, it's worth the watch, but so I'm rewatching it. But however, there is a well, spoiler alert for Shippuden, but obviously it's an anime that's been out for years. There
Yeah.
is an art debate, which I'm kind of curious to get your opinion on as the artist in the group.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, for example, there are two characters in Naruto that have two various opinions on art.
Mm-hmm.
One thinks that art is supposed to be a moment that's preserved for all time, like a moment of beauty that's just like for preserved that everyone can enjoy forever.
Okay.
And meanwhile, on the opposite scale, there's another character that thinks art is relatively an explosion, a moment of time that's there and it's gone. And that in itself is what makes it art because it's a flash and it's a once in a moment instance. And because of its finite experience,
Uh huh.
that's what makes it art. And the
Yeah.
duality between these two people is very interesting. So I'm very curious on like, are you more of an arts to be a moment or something that's preserved for all time, or is it the finite of a piece of art or something more
It could be both,
meaningful?
or it could be both or neither. Because sort of at the end of the day, art, I guess, is subjective,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
it really comes down to how you feel about a certain thing and how the piece of art connects to you. The art could be a flash in the pan moment for you, and then for somebody else, it could be something that sticks with them for the rest of their life. It influences them in some sort of way. Like, for instance, and from a animation background, you know, some people view uh, cartoons as kids fare,
Mhm.
which is a position that I judge strongly, and shame on you if you hold that position. Do better culturally with yourself. uh, but then listen to like pianists, like actual like professional musicians, classically trained musicians, talk about how they watched Tom and Jerry at the age of 2, and that being the thing that launched them into their careers, right?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not trying to say one is more appropriate than the other. I was just more curious as to which one you related to more.
Then it's subjective. It completely depends. It's a case by case. I don't think you can blanket. I don't think you can throw a blanket on art one way or the other.
So in a weird way, I my personal opinion on the matter is that I believe songs are ones that are like preserved for all time. However, certain moments are a blink and it's gone.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is
Yeah,
like I think that's I don't want to make that sound like a very safe answer, but it's just one of those things where like for example, I can listen to uh something from the Beach Boys that Brian Wilson made in like 1950, R.I.P.
mm-hmm.
Brian Wilson, but it will still have the same melodies and like harmonies that will like wow, over 50 years later that still sounds impeccable
Absolutely.
and multiple ages and generations can enjoy it. Meanwhile, there's certain things where it's like, okay, like not to get too philosophical, but like life itself is finite, and it's like that moment where you're like, wow, X amount of
But I mean,
years,
even with
and
music, like there are still a lot of examples where it's just sort of a flash in the pan, one and done sort of thing. Think about how many like knockoff Beatles bands there were
one hit
back in the
wonders.
day. Yeah, that absolutely. I mean, if that sometimes, and there's just nobody thinks about today.
I mean, that's very true, but there's also it's the some people did walk away once they made that one album or one song, and then other times it was just right place, right time. Like
Yeah,
for example, like there's a certain like I don't want to mind me as the old man yelling at uh back in my day in the 2000s everything sounded better. It's like no, like there's a distinct sound in that age that does not exist now. Granted,
mm-hmm.
it's there's new stuff now.
Yeah,
However, in my point of view, it just doesn't have that same impact,
mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
for
I mean,
example,
absolutely.
like all right, this is gonna be a very niche like argument, which I'm not besmirching the artist by any like means, but the fact that there are a lot of new artists, but the fact that more older artists are still doing tours, it's kind of like, granted, your music should speak for yourself. You shouldn't be like pressing onward.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, like there's certain time and places, like for example, like R.I.P. Ozzy Osbourne, the fact that he did his final show with like all of his like medical ailments,
Yeah.
that's different than like let's just say like people who are washed up and are like still trying to be like the pop sensation that they were like tw 10, 20 years ago, and clearly they're not
Right.
performing to the same standard. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
So it's
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
eh,
and I think it comes back to like my answer to your question. Like, it's just a completely subjective thing about in terms of this debate about like whether art is just like sticks to you or if it's a flash in the pan type thing. It's objective. It's case by case, and it's all about how you interpret it.
yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree. It's like,
Okay.
I,
So yeah,
I think they're both the two sides of the same art coin. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. I think it's sort of a pointless debate because like it's always going to come back to how you feel about a thing.
Well, I
So
know how you feel.
yeah,
I know
I
how you
just
feel
sort of
about
want to.
AI.
Oh yeah. So getting back to that, I sort of want to finish closing the circle on like how you were talking about how that disturbing images of like disembodied legs demonstrates athletic achievement. Look at this. Would you say that this image might also display athletic achievement?
Uh, I mean, at first glance, yes, but the
Mm-hmm.
more I'm looking at it, I'm not. Can you
Well, I
zoom
mean, you
in?
have to
What?
look at it in context also, right? Because this is pretty for those of you who don't know, and I don't know like how studied you are in terms of like Olympic athletics. I'm not an expert on them myself, but this is
Neither
a
mine.
super like decorated gymnast
Yes.
from the U.S. who all
That's not
about like
Simone.
yeah, huh?
Is that Simone?
Yeah, Simone
Okay. I
Biles.
couldn't.
Yep, that's who that is. Who is, and I don't know exactly. I couldn't tell you exactly like where she is in this image or what exactly she's doing or what place she won in that event. But you know who she is. She's doing the thing. You can place a face to a name to a face here, which I think connects you emotionally to what's happening. Like if you care about like the sport of gymnastics or like Olympic achievement or and all of that, you can connect that to this image, right?
Yes.
And like you're seeing somebody like at the peak of their athletic career, like doing like their like the thing that they're known for, and that's like another point of emotional attachment. And I don't think the image of legs with gratuitous veins really captures the essence of having an emotional attachment to an athletic achievement in the same way that that image does.
Okay, so I understand entirely what you're saying. And I'll agree that like there's certain things that AI cannot mimic perfectly or
Mm-hmm.
generate perfectly. That's better
Mm-hmm.
than I would say mimic. And well, we went through the whole spaghetti thing and fingers and now limbs that okay, sure, it's not a moment in time capture like that, which is slightly different than an AI generated image. I'll give
Mm-hmm.
you that. I'll concede that point.
Mm-hmm.
My thing though is that granted, all right, let's just take human limbs and anatomy away from AI.
Okay.
And let's just say, for example, all I wanted was an AI, or sorry, all I wanted was an image of, let's just say, a frog and a can of beer. Granted,
Okay.
I know, I mean, I'm familiar with pen and paper and canvas and such. However, when it comes to the graphic design mediums of, let's just say, Photoshop, Blender,
Mm-hmm.
etc., I will admit you might as well give me a rock and a stick. You know what I mean? Like I'm a how you say no good.
Mm-hmm.
So as someone in my situation who can quite literally generate a prompt in specific detail and get an AI generated image of a frog in a can of beer,
Mm-hmm.
and it will look quite literally is exactly as I described. It works out
Okay.
pretty well.
So how many times do you have to generate to actually achieve exactly what you want to see? Because in my experience, what I've seen is somebody will put a semi-specific prompt in, and oftentimes they'll have to go cycle over and over and over,
I mean,
or
that
put
depends
it
on the
like, yeah,
specificity as well as like the intricate details. Like, let's just say if I wanted a tiny little rat in the center of Times Square holding a cheese pizza with no pepperoni, like I'm adding a lot of detail in there, which it obviously it's gonna have to render and generate images from like stock images and etc. and process. Like, all right, there's a lot of bits that are going in there, which granted it should be able to dictate what it is based on the specificity. However, I will admit that like, okay, that doesn't make it perfect, at least in this time.
mm-hmm.
If I mean, who's to say in like 5 years from now it's gonna be hard to tell? Because I'm not gonna lie, there's a few times like like videos on like Instagram or whatever, like whatever website that like maybe like the first like fraction of a second, like you can usually tell like in the first like 3 seconds whether it's going to be a real or AI generated, or it starts off as a real video, then it obviously turns into AI, which is
Yeah.
equally annoying. But still, it's going to be to the point where it's going to take slightly more processing power to like be like, oh, was that what I? saw.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, uh, okay. Well, where was I kind of going? I was going in a direction. so,
Ah,
so I think I kind of want to touch on something you mentioned about
okay.
where you said that you could be you may as well be handed a stick and a rock if we're
Oh,
talking
that was to
about
me.
yeah
That was me personally. Yes.
yeah. So, but then could you not use that in a situation? Could you not use that stick and rock to make fire if you needed to?
I mean, I could, but I could also probably just use stick. And I mean, I was once a what's it, apprentice to somebody who like did wood carving, right?
Oh yeah,
Oh no, I didn't tell you this.
I don't think so.
Oh shit. Yeah, no. I so one of my mom's clients, her husband was a like very like well, I wouldn't say renowned, but he was a very like gifted and like his trade was like wood carving, carpentry, and etc.
Mm-hmm.
So like for example, like if you went to his house, you'd see dozens and dozens of like his specialty was animals.
Yeah.
Like for example, like the details that he could like make in like say a bird or um deer or rabbit, whatever like animal you think of, well, most obviously within reason, um,
Mm-hmm.
he could bring that to life in like the medium of wood, which is crazy because it's like not just texturing and like, oh, it looks like the general shape. Like, no, like if you were to put this out as like a wooden decoy, like a duck, if you took one of his ducks and put out in a freaking lawn or something, like you could easily mistake that for a target and shoot it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I'm obviously when you get closer, you can tell it's wood, but it's one of those things that. And what's it? Yeah, no, he was. I was his apprentice for about 2 years, two
Well,
and a
that's
half years,
interesting.
something like that.
Like to see you work your way around a block of wood at some point. That'd be interesting. I know. Do you have that skill anymore? Sometimes, like
Uh,
when you haven't like used the skill, you kind of drop it. But like there are
It's.
skills you can pick up like riding a bicycle. You know.
I mean, granted, like it's so the. All right, I'll put it to you this way. He was very great at teaching me the basics of like learning about like, all right, cool, like this, like the different grains, the different like scales of wood, and like how much pressure you need to use if you want to make like this kind of thing and like the different types of chisel marks and etc. Like he was great at teaching me like the very basics. But granted, this is also like go back to like 2004, 2000 like five. Like, it was years ago. And every so
Mm.
often like I'll like whittle and do some shit and I'm like, oh, like this would be kind of neat to get back into. But at the very same time, like I don't know, like it's something like in the back of my mind I want to pick up because like it's kind of neat, and I've also like appreciate what he taught me. But at the very same time, I would not call myself
Yeah.
uh, a member of that. You know what I mean?
Mm. So getting back to the point though, so the reason why I brought up that analogy is because I feel like Photoshop, and it's not the easiest program to just pick up. I will admit that. However, if you wanted to take the time to learn it, there are so many tutorials on YouTube and on different places that you can access for free on how to understand sort of the basics of using Photoshop.
Hmm.
And like once you pick those things up and understand how like different masks and different like how to adjust like colors and stuff like that, it's a little bit of like a learn as you go sort of thing, a little bit. But
Well,
once you
I
understand how to do that, and again, like there are tutorials galore. Like if you wanted to look into that, you could
oh
make
no, like
exactly what you want. Like
you
the rat holding the pizza in a subway, you would absolutely do that in Photoshop.
you don't understand that I would be too powerful if I had the ability of Photoshop.
Maybe you should
The
be.
amount the amount of hypotheticals and random nonsense that I would think of and make would be I feel like this is me self-nerfing myself to make sure that I don't
This
become
is the
too
voice
powerful.
of opportunity. Become more powerful than you could possibly imagine. Learn Photoshop. Learn Photoshop and create. Actually create.
Well, I'll tell you, I once upon a time I may or may not have made a meme of the SpongeBob meme of Patrick Star like in the wallet with Man Ray like
Yep.
this is your wallet. I've seen you drop it. This must be your wallet. It's
Yeah.
not mine. Ugh. Like so I took that meme format and I put my friend's I photoshopped a fake is his real ID information,
Mm-hmm.
but it was a clearly fake image, but it had all of his real information on
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to make it like 100% sourceful, not thinking that I'm actually doxing my friend.
Yep.
It was brilliant, but it was also like, bro, what the fuck? That has my real address and like date of birth and et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, that's my bad. Whoops.
Oof.
Like the Stu Pickles. Oops.
Oops. But yeah, I'm so serious though. Like anybody, it's not the easiest thing to do, but I feel like if you want to truly create, if you want to be the person that can create something and create it how you want it to look, and not like because you're sort of rolling the dice when it comes to AI. It's not ever going to come out perfectly as you can imagine it. AI is not
Of
a
course.
system that can read your mind. However,
Oh, of course.
if you know how to manipulate colors and purposefully look for the source images online and be able to compile the stuff yourself, it can come out exactly how you want it the first time, every time.
I mean,
It's so much
I,
better that way. And you can say, I created this. This came out of my imagination, and it flowed through my hands onto the computer,
I
basically.
see what I see what you're doing, and I appreciate that. And you know, hey, I will give it the honest to God
I
try
encourage it,
because
and like,
yes,
yeah,
well, you know how I am about the gym stuff. Like I'm all about the effort from the sweat of my own brow, which is I can
exactly.
appreciate that.
And so like, and this is sort of, and forgive me for being contentious, I guess, but if you out there, a fair listener, are the kind of person that tells yourself, well, I can type prompts into a generative AI, that must make me an artist.
Well,
It does
hold
not.
on.
I'm so sorry. It does not. Because you
I was
have,
a,
like, yeah. And this is,
I was
I don't know if you do this, it's not directed at you if you don't.
just because I use AI to make art and air quotes again, just because I'm using AI to make art, I does not mean I go around saying that I'm an artist.
Oh, and
Granted,
I'm glad that you
I'm
don't.
I'm in an area of New York City what rhymes with schmooklin that
Uh,
there's a lot of people here that I could imagine would do the like, oh yes, I'm an artist because I put prompts and like yeah, no,
yep.
that's different. So I can agree with you on that. I equally don't like them. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like them.
Listen, like, I and like every other artist will tell you that we have sunk so much time, sweat, blood, tears, all of this into perfecting our craft and the best to become the best. And this is something that any artist, like, I'm not the best at what I do. I'm always evolving. I'm learning. I'm looking at what other people who are better than me is doing, and I am learning how to do my craft better all the time by doing it, by actually doing it. Um,
You
you were
had the
doing this,
opportunity.
yeah,
You had the
exactly.
opportunity to have a badass Wolverine quote, and you fucked it up.
Oh, well,
I'm the best in the world at what I do, and what I do ain't nice.
yeah, I am. That would be cool, but I would be lying, and I'm not gonna do
Yeah,
that.
nah, you're right. Well, I'm also referencing when I was drunk and I was the Wolverine.
Oh yeah, Logan.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, that'll be a
I'm
that'll,
okay.
that'd be a very funny story for a different video.
But go. Sorry, getting back to topic though.
Yeah,
This might be a very niche New York thing, but have you ever heard of the show as a kid called Pappyland?
that name, I don't think I would have heard it as a kid. As an adult on the internet, that sounds vaguely familiar just as a title.
Because it's about like what's it like not a hillbilly but like some sort of like miner guy who's called Pappy Druid. And the
Hmm.
whole premise of the show is like he's an artist that's like a miner. And like it's like, oh, like he drew the entire world that he lives in.
Yeah.
And like he would like sit down and like teach you how to draw and with like paint or pencil or etc etc.
Hmm.
And I remember being enamored as a kid, being like, this motherfucker turned a bunch of doodles into a drawing. Like basically Bob Ross but without like the Bob Ross.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
Hmm.
that might be
That's
something you should
interesting.
give a little
I'll,
dabble,
I'll have to look into that. But also,
a little
shout out to
picture
Bob
movie.
Ross. The memory of Bob Ross. He was a real one. May he rest in peace. But I think my point is that, and I think this is the point of like annoyance that a lot of artists have with AI is the whole point of right now a lot of artists' jobs are being upended by AI. There's a lot of like people who are like in like film, they're writing, they're talking about doing an animation also. Uh, just a graphic design is another one for sure.
Mm,
Um, a lot of these positions are being upended by folks that think they can do it cheaper with AI, and that's hurting a lot of artists. And I really sincerely wish that we as the society would stop doing that because you may be saving a buck in the short term, but in the long term, as you're generating these images and taking a real close look at what you're generating, the way that like letters and shapes and numbers and colors are still being jumbled to like the point of where it's just not recognizable.
hmm.
You're saving a buck by not hiring a real having a real artist work on these projects, but
What
you're coming out with an inferior product.
what you're just oh my God, I wish I oh well I hate to say that this is my college degree failing me at this moment in
Uh
time,
huh.
but it's the there's a name for the triangle where it's the three different corners of the triangle are good, cheap, and fast,
Yes. Mm hmm.
and you can only choose like two of the three, obviously, because in the middle like there's like I don't want
Here,
to
let
say
me see if I can pull that up just for.
it's not a it's not a Venn diagram, but like in the middle it doesn't exist to have all three, but you can only choose two.
Yep.
So they're choosing the fast and cheap, but missing out the good. Which is basically
Exactly.
what you're saying. I'm just trying to
Mm hmm.
capitalize on your point.
Actually, this is a
Fuck.
really good one.
What?
There is a Venn diagram. Actually, I found a Venn diagram for it, and it's
Well,
perfect. I'm about to show it to you.
in school it was a triangle, so it might have changed throughout the years, but it's the
Oh
same
no no no
premise of
no! Check this out because this is so good, and I
I
think
really
we could probably like end the cap this off at that. Honestly, um, and I don't know if I've swayed you away from relying on prompting, and I would encourage you strongly to give Photoshop another shot, especially in the age of the YouTube tutorials because they're all over the place. Give
granted
it
here
another shot.
I will give it a shot, but I will also say this is strictly for AI generated images because when it comes to other AI prompts, it is mighty helpful. Oh, okay, that's very similar to what I saw in class, but it was for some reason it was a triangle. I want to say it was called like the three uh not three
It's the same
corners.
principle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same principle, but it's very important to remember it. Like we can pretend, we as a society can pretend
Oh,
that computers will be able to do what the real human hand can do. Like it's not going to.
uh,
Not
I
really.
I think it's called Project Management Triangle or something. Project something.
Hmm.
Either way, you get the idea.
Yeah. I mean, I guess in closing, uh, don't call yourself an artist if you're using prompts to make your quote unquote art. Um, I think that if, because there's a lot of like unethical crap that's like surrounding AI also, like the way that power banks are being used and all the I'm not going to get into all of that for the sake of our argument because that's a little bit of a different conversation.
I'll take your
But
soapbox. Yoink.
but um I think there might it be practical uses for AI that and I think if we're going to explore what a good practical use for AI is, it should be things that take away the tasks that we don't want to do, the things that are extremely inefficient for us to do when we could be doing other things, tasks that just generally bring down our quality of life for us having done them. And AI should be the system that automates those tasks so we're free up to focus on things that we would prefer to focus on.
Of course, like it's a tool like anything else.
Exactly. But I don't think generating art, quote unquote, achieves that.
I Now you're gonna dislike this, but I'm gonna throw a grenade in the room real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So how about AI music? We're gonna stop it there though, because that's a whole other
Bum bum
conversation,
bum. I'm gonna throw in a bum bum bum. I could say I
right?
have thing to say very similar. I have similar sentiments, but
Yo,
uh, so we're not here for 2 hours. So we're not torturing you for 2 hours with this conversation. Yeah, I think we can sort of cap it
Dilbert,
off there.
can you put the sound of a flashbang going off after I put that instead? Just to completely derail it. Nah, but
There
in
it
all
is. Thank you,
seriousness,
Dilbert.
that's the
Thank you,
topic.
Dilbert. Yeah, we
That's the
appreciate
topic
that.
for later on. Thank you, Dilbert. We love you.
Yeah, pat on the back.
A
Go back.
little POB, a little pat on the back.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So what did we learn? We learned that art is very subjective. However, it takes a human soul and creativity and a human touch to make it
And
applicable,
if you want
feeling.
to learn it, you can. YouTube is free, and there are so many free tutorials on how to do what you want to do, so you don't have to rely on AI to do what you want to do.
True. And if you are an apprentice to a wood carver, you got to keep with it or your skills will atrophy.
Such as
That's
it
all I'm
is,
going to say
such
about
is
that.
life, such is life.
Such is
Okay, I
life.
mean, I think that sort of caps off what our final thoughts would be. So, what do we say? What do you say we say goodbye to these fine folks until the next video?
Absolutely. Any final words or thoughts, Matt?
Yes, like, comment, subscribe, and I know this is a little bit of a contentious debate between a lot of folks. I have some strong views. Joe probably has some strong views. I felt like we kept it civil, which is
Yeah.
hard to do these days with folks on the internet.
Oh, I could
Um,
have been worse.
so same, trust me. um, but uh, if you're gonna comment about it, do your best to keep it civil. Also, in this video, if you're gonna comment in this video, try to be a human being. Okay,
Exactly.
you don't gotta start fires. You can just state your
In
case. You know.
in the exact same way that tell people on Muscle Appreciation Monday, be good, be kind, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Absolutely,
That's
absolutely.
it.
All right,
It
folks.
costs nothing.
Couldn't have put it better myself. So until next time, we will see
Catch you
you
later.
later. Bye bye.
Bye.